All right, so again, I got my notes today, and this is something a little different. What I'm doing, life at 45, starting over. So I got my notes, so I'm just not rambling. I tend to do that sometimes. Um, I would say why I started over. Basically, I feel like I started over at 45 is I did 24 years in the army, retired, uh, and through the last, so I retired a year or so ago, and then I realized that I'm still young, and so I only have one. I don't have, basically I realized that one career that you have, I started at 18, don't last forever. All right. I do miss the army. I miss certain things about the army. I miss the people, my battle buddies or my friends, as I should call them now. I miss those. I miss those good times. But as I look back, it's like, man, 24 years ago. So now I'm on to a different journey. All right. And I keep looking down because these are my talking points. All right. Uh, I chose growth when I retire instead of comfort, because I just feel like that if I just stay stagnant, I'll stop growing and then I'll end up starting feeling like life is over. All right. And I don't believe that. I believe that, hey, that first part was my journey. That was one journey, that's one chapter, and I close it. Now it's on to something different. All right. And the biggest part of what I feel now is that I'm a beginner again. I went from a career where I was a senior leader in the military. I was, higher up. So now that I'm retired and I'm starting a whole new career, I feel like I'm a beginner again, and that's fine. So I went back to college once I retired. I went back to college, and I just graduated um, in IT. I got my bachelor's in IT. So kudos to me. And if you knew me before, you knew I hated school. I said that from the last video. All right. I'm learning, and I'm still a beginner. So I'm learning software development. Let me open this up. I'm learning software development. So from right now, I started building apps and games from scratch. I do websites, learning the back end of everything, and it's been a mental battle as well. Wondering if I'm too old to start a new career. And what I stopped doing would help me with this is I stopped comparing myself to younger people. My younger self, not younger people, my younger self. All right. I was like, man, I'm not 20 no more. I don't know if I can learn this. I'm starting from scratch. I don't want to start from the beginning. So what helped me was I just started one day at a time. Like I did. I kept the same philosophy as I did in the military. I learned from one of my leaders was put your boots on one day at a time. So that's what I did. And so, 2, 3 years later, I got my bachelor's degree. One boot on at a time. I stopped comparing myself to 20-year old, Preston. All right. Um, I focused on consistency instead of speed. When I was younger, everything was about speed, speed, speed. Got to do it quick. Got to do it quick. But now I just focus on getting up every day and doing the same thing over and over when it comes to my dream, my new career, my dreams, or what I want to accomplish. That goes from getting my health back together, and working out every day, lifting weights, stuff like that, going for my walks, and showing up for school. Especially learning this new software development journey that I'm on. Uh, and I know you guys who subscribed, y'all was like, hey, where's he going with this? He's a trading channel. I just want to open up more things that is not just about, trading, trading, trading. All right. So why I never explained this when I first started this channel, why I switched to swing trading. All right. I just wanted the trading to fit my life. All right. I didn't want the trading. I didn't want to get out of one career field and jump right into trading all day, being behind a computer. I needed the trading and the extra money that I made through trading to fit my lifestyle. All right. And so Swing trading helps me. I have more time to work out, more time to spend with my kids, work on my digital business, my health. Swing trading allows that because I only have to look at the chart once a day. And if you fall victim to this social media pattern of, oh, you gotta quit your 9 to 5 to and then you quit your 9 to 5 and you don't have a good savings, and then you jump into being on the chart all day. So you just switching one poison for the other one. All right. That's the reason why I switched to swing trading, because it fit my lifestyle. I have time to get up in the morning to work out. I have time for my kids. I have time for, my college. Now I'm going towards my master's degree. And it would help me in my psychology. And I ain't gonna harp on this. I'm gonna move on from trading after this. What helped me with my psychology in trading is follow my plan. I have a strategy on a daily time frame. Follow my plan, risk properly, and get off the chart, and then go live my life. And I've been able to be more successful like that with just following that plan. Yes, I do take losses. Yes, I do have winning months. I have losing months, but my risk management take care of all that. All right. And I stick to the same thing over and over and over. And as you realize that, and of course I still trade FX, I don't know. I know the prop firms would, whatever the case, but I'm going to move on from that. I'm just telling you, make sure trading fits your lifestyle. All right. Let me move on. My lock screen then locked up. All right. And what that's helping me do is at 45, I'm building multiple streams of income with swing trading, software development, websites. I'm doing mobile games and long-term investments. That's the biggest thing. So I give a tidbit of information to the younger generation. If I could give it to my younger self or the younger generation, all right, build up an emergency fund. You don't have to quit your 9 to 5 to make extra money trading. Build it up. Build up everything you're trying to build up before you quit your job. All right. And that way you have more peace of mind. All right. So that's what I'm doing right now. I do feel like I'm starting over because I'm out of the military. I had to leave that behind. I don't have a constant, that constant pace of the military every day. But what I'm realizing, I'm beginning to have more peace, with building these multiple streams of income. Is, swing trading, like I say, software development, websites, mobile gaming. All right. You know, success right now to me looks a little different than it did in the military. All right. I choose peace now at 45. I choose peace. Peace over stress. And stress is the reason why I have some of these gray hairs in my beard and up top. All right. But I'm learning that peace is more valuable to me than a lot of money. All right. And that's the biggest thing. Uh, and freedom over chasing every dollar. All right. That's what success looks like to me. If you constantly chasing dollars, trying to get a new job, yeah, I understand that doing it when you're in your 20s, but at 45, that's not what it looks like to me. And if I had, you know, one piece of advice for the younger generation, grind, stack your money. I spent a lot of money on alcohol and partying in clubs in my 20s. But if I can give you one piece of advice in your 20s, stack your bread up now in your 20s. And then when you hit your 40s, you have the money for freedom to do as you want to, or be a little bit more less stress on when bills pop up. Okay, that's all I want to tell you about that one. And build something that lasts. That's what I can tell you. Build something that lasts. So when you hit your 40s and 50s, I ain't hit 50 yet, I'm 45, but uh, building something that lasts. That's all I'm going to say on that one. So my message to my viewers, if you're in your 40s and you start a new career, or if you're in your 20s, you can take some piece of advice from this too. You're never too old to start over. All right. And that's what I had to continue to tell myself. And you don't have to have everything figured out. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing I wanted to say. I'm glad I put that talking point in there. You don't have, if you choosing to start a career. I had somebody talk to me the other day about, they in the manufacturing side, but they want to, they love tech. They feel that they love tech and they want to jump into tech, and they trying to just figure it out so fast. And I just tell them to slow down. You don't have to have A to Z figured out. Start with A. You might get to D or E or F and end up turning back to B, then going to C, then turning back to A. But what I say do is, along the journey, just map out a plan. And then, as you're going through life, through the steps, through the month, through the years, time will show you where you need to be. And that's the biggest thing. When I graduated, I was like, man, it's going to take so long to get my bachelor's. I'm starting at 42. I started at 42 and got my bachelor's at 45, and I'm starting my master's now. But when I first started, I was like, man, it's going to take so long. I'm just starting to tech. I don't know if my mind's there. I'm not a young person. But you know what I did? I just started, and I didn't have a clue where I was at, but I just started from square one, started going to school, and then throughout the years, the 3-4 years that it took me to get my bachelor's, now I'm going for my master's, is I just took one day at a time. I get up, work out, take my walks. Every day I do my trades. If I see a trade, but I don't make everything my sole purpose anymore. I do it for the time being, for the hour, 2 hour that I have allotted, and then I move to the next thing. But I focus on that while I'm supposed to focus on it, then I move on. All right, and that's what I'm going to tell you. Just keep taking the next step. Just keep taking the next step. Put your boots on one day at a time. All right. And in closing, I'm not making this video because I made it. All right. I'm just making this video so you can watch my journey while I'm building on the next step. Yeah. Again, I am 45 years old. I have done 24 years in the military. I'm dealing, just like everybody else, I'm dealing with, mental issues, certain things, but I take steps to try to figure those things out. But to my older generation in my 40s, the ones with my 40s and up, if you start a new career, it's never too late to learn. You can learn till you leave this earth. All right. And never compare yourself to others, and don't compare yourself to your younger you. And for my younger generation, all right, stop believing everything that you see, these get rich quick things, or these fast things. In the military, we had a saying, hurry up and wait. We'll hurry up to do something, but then we have to wait. That, I think, all in all, that always taught us patience. But take one step at a time. Every single day, put your boots on or your shoes on one day at a time. Stop rushing. And for my younger generation, 20s, you younger, develop a skill, all right, and save money for. Everybody say, oh man, that rainy day shit. Save money for a rainy day. I promise you, you will thank yourself when you get in your 40s that you were able to save, and it don't matter. You save 5 here, save 10 here, get a little extra money, save 100 there. Develop a skill, all right? And it's okay to work. It is okay to work as long as you continuing to better yourself. If you don't like where you at right now, continue. When you get off, continue to better yourself for the next journey. But stop believing all these gurus about this trading stuff. All right. What helped me, and don't quit your 9 to 5 to trading. Make trading part of the bigger picture. All right. You working, you get money from that. You're trading, you get money from that. You have a different business, whatever the case may be. You might be babysitting on the side. You saving money for that. All right. Just do those things and continue to grow. And remember, all gas, no brakes. I'll see y'all next week.